Hi, it's Nicola. I am here to update you on my pregnancy. I just found out that I was pregnant a few weeks ago. Just wanted to kind of go through that. So when I found out that I was pregnant, I actually found out when I went to the doctor because I wasn't feeling well and I was having some sort of funky pain in my lungs, and I went to just like a minute clinic, and they were concerned that I might need to have some more testing done, so they referred me to an urgent care. When I went to urgent care, they were wanting to do a chest x-ray, but they wanted to confirm that I wasn't pregnant, and I told them, I know I'm not pregnant, I don't have any symptoms, I know my body, blah, blah, blah. And lo and behold, they come in and they said I had a positive pregnancy test, and I'm thinking, there's no way, there's no way, there's no way. Well, there is a way, but I really did not think I was going to become pregnant this month, because it was only one time 3 or 4 days before I ovulated. I couldn't exactly confirm when I exactly ovulated because I took my temperature a little bit later than when I do, and it already spiked and it had been like a few days in between. So it was probably around 14 or 15 DPO when I ovulated, and I usually ovulate a lot later than that. Well, 17 DPO. So I was really like shocked. And so at that point, they sent me to the emergency room because they didn't want to do a chest x-ray, so they wanted to do this blood work on me to kind of rule out if I had a pulmonary embolism, because I was having this weird pain in my lungs. And I just couldn't believe it turned into all of this. So then when I went there, they did my HCG, and it was 175. And at 175, I was about 3 weeks, 5 days. So that is a much bigger number than what I had with my last pregnancy, which I was only 38. So just right off the bat, I was like, wow, this is a lot stronger. So I had my HCG checked 2 days later. Granted, I had no symptoms like at that point. I think I recorded 2 days like mild nausea, but I didn't think anything of it. But I thought I was going to put it in there anyways on Fertility Friend app. And lo and behold, it was because I was pregnant. So I ended up getting my HCG drawn. Second numbers were 546, which I was like so excited about. And then I felt like my symptoms had decreased over the weekend, and I was kind of freaking out because I had just started to feel a little nauseous, and then it was like they went away, and I was like nervous. So then I was like, can we just check them again? And then that was like, it was August 26th, and I was around just about 4 weeks, 6 days, 4 weeks, 5 days, and then my HCG was like 3,782, and I was like, whoa. So that really gave me a lot of assurance, and just I felt good about it. And then when I was about 5 weeks pregnant, the nausea started to pick up, and starting to get tired, and I had a little bit of spotting, but it wasn't like bright red, but I was just like, and it happened like one instant, and then it just like stopped. It was like one brief thing on my liner, and then that was like it. And it didn't really come back till like a few days later. It kind of came back again, and I was kind of like in like mild cramping, and this is around like 6 weeks, and I just was like nervous, and I was like, duh. And I went to my midwife, and she's like, you're about 6.5 weeks now, so you could probably go get an ultrasound to kind of confirm, or go get your HCG. And when I was talking with her, I was at the women's hospital because I work at the hospital, and I was on the women's hospital side. And she goes, well, you have insurance. Why don't you just go over there and go check yourself into the ER, because then you can get both tests done immediately and we don't have to wait. And I said, yeah, you're probably right. So I went in, and they did the ultrasound, and I was like super, super nervous. And they ended up seeing the little baby, and the baby was measuring like 6 weeks, 2 days, when I was like 6 weeks, 5 days or something like that. and they got a heartbeat of like in the 120s. So I was like, oh, that's really low. And she said, well, she's like, that's actually good. She's like, you're just starting to get cardiac activity, so it takes a little time for it to pick up. So she's like, it looks really great. And then when she tested my blood type, I told her I was O negative, and she tested me for antibodies to see if I had the D antibody, which is what you should not have if you have had a first baby and you've had the RhoGAM shot, so that your body doesn't become sensitized, so that you are not going to build and attack the next baby. And she comes back and tells me that I am positive for the D antibodies. And I was like, are you freaking kidding me? And she said, you're going to have to be followed by an MFM, and, you know, you're going to be a high-risk pregnancy. You're going to have a lot more ultrasounds. You're going to have, you know, the baby might have some blood transfusions. I'm like, what? And it, like, really kind of freaked me out. And I was happy that the baby was growing and things were going good, but then I find out that I'm positive and I'm sensitive to this D thing with my Rh negative blood. And she said, well, you know, they can do a test now between, you know, after 10 weeks to where they can actually test the baby's blood type through your blood type, so then you can really know if the baby is going to be like your husband, O positive, or like you, O negative. So I was just like, oh my gosh. So I called my midwife and I tell her all this, and she goes, oh yeah, you would become positive for D antibodies. I go, what? I go, but that's not what you're supposed to have. She goes, yeah, but you just had a RhoGAM shot a couple months ago, and you probably have the D antibodies from the RhoGAM shot still in your system, because it takes a little while for it to get out. And I was like, duh, like that makes so much more sense. I go, why didn't this lady like look to see when I had my last miscarriage, just to like not freak the heck out of me? And she was just like, I hate it when they do that because they freak you out, but I actually see this all the time. You get a RhoGAM shot and then you come positive for D antibodies. So we just have to get tested down the road to kind of make sure. She's like, I'm 98% positive that that's what happened. So, yeah, so then once she told me that, I was like, that's probably what it is. So I'm not going to stress about it until, you know, we confirm, and, you know, I'm just going to think that it's the RhoGAM shot, because it can technically be in your system for up to 12 weeks, and at that point it was like 10 or 11 weeks, so it's on the low end, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was from, because after I had my son, I was not sensitized. But the whole reason why this got brought up is because she thought that because I was spotting, anytime you have spotting, you should have a RhoGAM shot when you're Rh negative, because there's always a potential of blood mixing and then for me to become sensitized. So she was testing me, and then because I came positive, I didn't need the RhoGAM shot because antibodies aren't in my body. And so I hope that kind of makes sense, but the gist is I'm going to get retested, and hopefully it will be 0, because the RhoGAM antibodies will be out of my system at that time. And so this is kind of a second part of all this. I ended up following up with my MFM because of my previous miscarriages, and he gave me back my lab results back, because I had my miscarriages. I wanted to see if there's anything that could be going on with me. And they ended up finding, other than my MTHFR, that I do have low protein S, and that there was a couple other things that were very borderline out of the range of normal. Like if it was like less than 13, I was 13. If the range was 80 to 135, I was like 136. And so all of it to really say that I'm at risk for blood clots. And so he was wanting to recommend me stay on my baby aspirin, progesterone, and then take Lovenox daily. And I said, Lovenox daily? That is like self-injections every single day. And I said, really? I said, seems just very extreme when I'm just like borderline. And he said, you know, we'll talk about it later. You know, that's kind of like third tier on the list of what I'm recommending. And then he was recommending prednisone. It went like progesterone, aspirin, Lovenox, then prednisone. And I guess the prednisone was to help sustain the pregnancy. And with me, I really don't want to take anything if I don't have to. So, So what I've agreed to do is I'm doing progesterone and baby aspirin, which I have been doing, and I'm going to wait to talk to my midwife because she thought it was a little overboard as well. I'm just going to get some second opinions before I just jump to that, because I technically have to be on Lovenox. He said all the way up to like 37 weeks or all the way up to the end of my pregnancy to the day before I give birth, and then switch to heparin. And I'm like, that just seems so extreme. But it's more of a precautionary thing. Like if something were to happen during this pregnancy, we could say that it wasn't because of that, because I was on these precautionary measures. So I'm kind of playing this balancing act of what I want to do. So I'm going to find some more information, just kind of get a better idea so I can make the best informed decision. And yes, so today I am currently 7 weeks and 2 days. When I went to my MFM yesterday, they did another ultrasound to kind of confirm everything on their end, and the baby was measuring just on target, 7 weeks, 1 day, and the baby's heartbeat was 145, so it had picked up within like 3 days. So that was really exciting, and I have some pictures. This is, so you might think that that's the head, but it's actually the yolk sac. And the baby's head's in there, and then you can kind of see the little limbs, like the little legs, and then the arms. It's just the way the baby was positioned. It makes you look like you think it's a head. But she's like, no, that's the yolk sac. The baby's just kind of hiding underneath it. So, so that was exciting. So, I am still, you know, on edge a little bit because of my history. But it feels good to see a heartbeat, and I am just trusting the Lord with this, and I'm just kind of in for the ride. And so I am praying that this is my take-home baby. I want to share something with you real quick. I made this a few months ago, okay? And it kind of signifies, you know, my rainbow baby, the baby that will come after loss. So I made this holds all my pins, but this kind of is the rainbow on both sides. And then inside is kind of like the, you know, the birth canal per se. And then I have the heart up here representing my son, and then the 2 hearts here representing the 2 losses, and then my baby who is to come. And I did this before this baby was conceived, so it's been kind of like my hope, and just kind of a, you know, just significance in my life where I was at. So I pray this is my take-home baby, and I will keep you all updated. I don't know how I'm going to do with pregnancy vlogs and whatnot, because it's hard to do with like time and that kind of thing, but I do want to keep you updated. I will tell you that my symptoms are right now, I am exhausted. I have lots of nausea. My cravings are insane. I have had something different every day. It's awful. I'm spending so much money on fast food. I'm going to Panera one day, Chipotle another day. Today I had a big old fat cheeseburger with bacon. I'm wanting meat and hearty and warm things. When I think it was Easton, it was all fruits and vegetables and the yummy stuff. Now I'm just like wanting heartiness, and I'm super thirsty. I get up in the middle of the night about 3 or 4 times a night, and my bladder is full. And I will say this, I talked about before that I had back labor and just back labor sensations even when I miscarried. And the ultrasound tech said that my uterus is tilted. And so I'm pretty sure it's tilted back towards my spine. So I think I'm just one of the lucky ones that will always have back labor. So that was kind of confirming, because my son was in perfect position. They're like, we don't know why you're having all this back labor, because he's in the right position. And it's because of the position of my uterus. So anyways, that is kind of a whole synopsis of what is going on. I am super excited, and I will tell you, I want a little girl, but I will be happy with a little boy. I just want a healthy baby, but I'm kind of leaning towards a girl, but I'll take whatever the Lord gives me. So just thought I'd throw that out there, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.